Ohayou gozaimasu, watashi wa FiyahKitteh, and welcome back to my diary of Animal Crossing New Leaf. Well, let's start because this is already kind of a quick episode anyway, so let's go right into it. So, we start with Monday, and it was actually kind of late for once again. Oops. That happened from what I remember anyway, that happened just once before. Actually like 2 weeks ago or something. If I'm not mistaken, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Where I got up at like 5. This was when I played at 6, after 6. So there you go. I really like the shading though, even though it's kind of dark. At least on the screenshots. It looks pretty neat on the actual 3DS, but the screenshots are very dark. Nothing much actually happened this day, so we can technically skip to Tuesday, which is what we see here. I actually got to play earlier, except, well, there is not much going on Tuesday either. It's like we've already gotten all the jokes / anecdotes, so I don't need to do that anymore. We've gotten pretty much all the catches, as in bugs, fish, whatever, so there's not much going on anymore. However, we do have something for, well, Wednesday. There you go. And I took that screenshot a little bit in a bad time. In any case, if you see in the background there, haha, on the right side there is a tent. Does that mean there's a new person moving into town? An actual player, not just an animal buddy? Yes, that's exactly what it means. I did not take any screenshots, I don't think. Well, not anytime soon. Because I wanted to first wait until that person is actually, well, I guess, fleshed out and looks how he's supposed to. Yep, it's a guy. But I actually made somebody move into my town. We all know that I've made Sam Winchester move in from Supernatural. And this time I actually made a real person move in. It's Cry, or Kudai, how I call him, aka Chaotic Monkey. He's a Let's Player on YouTube. So, there you go. He's in my FB box on my channel actually, so in case you're interested. He's really good with voice acting and a lot of other stuff. So, there you go. I made him move in, because I like him a lot. There you go. So, I had to take more silly screenshots, at least. We have one of those earlier centuries wigs, like what Mozart and everybody was having, and it looks kind of freaking hilarious. I'm not sure if this is actually called anything like that, or if it's just like a wizard hair or something. I'm not sure anymore what this is called, so I can't even tell you, but it looked hilarious. It looked absolutely hilarious. I like it. I also took another screenshot from a night view, and this time it's like the whole, I think it's called the main street. I keep forgetting it because I never really talk about that part. With the academy, the post office, and my current nuclear shop over there. So yep. Well, there is a catch of the day, and it's actually one you need to get in the evening, I believe. It's a Centipede. Yeah, those things look so fugly when you hit them out of those rocks. And you don't have a lot of time to catch them actually. You need to really know where your tools are at if you use the D-pad trick. Even if you don't use the D-pad trick, you really need to know where your tools are at, because that thing is doesn't stay around for too long. So much like, I think the house centipede is what it was called. So there you go. I still didn't have this one. Well, then let's move on to the next day, which would be Thursday. I don't exactly have a screenshot of the house or anything, so I at least made sure to have another screenshot, or to use another screenshot. But I don't think I need to say a whole lot about this. We've already talked about how people can come over to your house, sometimes even randomly actually, which is kind of creepy. If you're upstairs, I don't know if I ever said that, but if you're upstairs and people come in and you don't go downstairs, they're gonna leave the house again because they think you're not at home. which is kind of weird because given that their houses are always locked when they're not at home, it's just kind of like, wow, that's weird. So they just come in here and you can't even lock your house, basically. That's weird. If you're downstairs or in the main room, basically, they're just gonna see you and come up to you. If you're in some side room, it's kind of the same like being upstairs, really. They just think you're not there, unless you go walk into the main room here. Most people make this their living room, so. But I don't want to call it living room necessarily, because some people might make it something else. In my case, it is definitely the living room, so yeah. Usually they leave pretty quickly again. Sometimes it takes like less than a minute, which I'm actually glad about, because most of the time when I personally am in my house is when I'm trying to like change some furniture around or something. So whenever somebody pops in, I almost get annoyed, really, because I'm like, oh my god, I was in the middle of doing something, get out. So I'm kind of glad they get out again soon. Not, because I have anything against them, as I said. It's just that I was in the middle of doing something and I don't appreciate if they just drop in. Again, I wish you could lock your door almost. Anyways, we do have one catch of the day and nothing else, unfortunately. I told you this is going to be a short thing. There's a spider. That was quite a thing to get, actually. You have to like shake trees during specific times. It can also be fruit trees, from what I remember. And then he might or might not show up. There's actually a trick. If your animal buddies look at a tree, that means there's something in there and that you should shake it. The problem is if your trees are all off somewhere, which means nowhere near your townspeople, you're not gonna be able to tell. You're gonna have to do the old shaking and find out method, which means you're probably gonna get stung a few times, like by bees. So, yep. It does make kind of like a weird sproink sound though, so. Plus, if it happens to crawl back up because you're too slow, you can just shake it again, and it's still gonna be there. Or I actually found out that you can actually, if it crawled back up, you can actually just not shake it and use the bug net on the tree directly, and you still catch it. That's weird, and I don't know if that's a glitch or not, but it works. I found out by accident, so there you go. Next day, again, I don't have a friggin' house screenshot again, but at least we have this. This is where my campsite is at. I made it a little bit like almost like a little forest, a little bit or something. So people who camp here actually get a little bit of a forest or wilderness feel. In the background, you see my, well, let's call it my breeding spot for flowers. Because I want to, if you cross flowers, you get different colors. I didn't know that for the longest time, really. Unless, or until somebody actually told me. Because I was wondering how you get, other flower colors, like pink, orange, blue, black, whatever. It turns out you have to crossbreed them. I thought you might get new seeds at some point, but no, you actually have to crossbreed them. And since my goal is to have the whole town full of pink flowers, I made those breeding spots there with red, white, red, white, red, white of each flower type, so I can breed pink flowers. It takes forever, but it's absolutely worth it, because the places where I did put those down, if you remember the bottom left corner I showed one of the last times, it looks really, really cool. So there you go. I pretty much had to take a screenshot of this just because Biscuit was all like flattered and blushy and stuff. That's really the only reason. He often gets fluttered. I was probably thinking about Fluttershy. He does get flustered a lot of times, so it's kind of neat. It's really cute. I always like when he gets like that. It's very flattering. Flustered, fluttered. Oh man. Yep. I'm not a brony, just so you know. Well, and I changed my town's flag, actually. Slim went to look at it. I'm like, hey, I have something new. You should totally go check it out. And I made a FiyahKitteh flag finally. It looks really cool. It's awesome. And if you actually come to my dream suite, man, you can actually take it with you. It's free to take with you if you want. Just don't do anything bad with it, please. The 6th, which means the 6th day of the week, which is Saturday. Weather report. Today is the meteor shower. Enjoy taking an evening off to watch the magic in the night sky. That sounded really neat. So I really was interested and wanted to see that. And yeah. I did make a little project in my quote-unquote park. It actually was a Zen bell, which I believe Surano had suggested like before he moved out. And I felt like it would look really neat. It's just like one of those big Japanese bells where you have this wooden pillar thing, and you can drag it back and then let it go, and then it goes boom. It's really neat. It's very kind of a meditation / religious thing. It's really neat. It's really nice, seriously. So I felt like, you know, since there's still a little bit of space in that one corner of my quote-unquote park, I should put that one there. Just because the park is supposed to be something relaxing and something, you know, to hang out and just kind of sit and think maybe and stuff. So it just really fit there. It's really nice. I also got a new badge. It's the Seafood Encyclopedia. This shows I'm a fan of diving. No kidding. Because I had to dive for some creatures like super long. I'm gonna be talking about that whenever it comes up. So yeah. Oh god, this was definitely one of the few, or of the, yeah, it was just one of the few things that I had to quite look for almost. Catches of the day. Mitten Crab. Yeah, my god, it's like, what the hell, dude. We also have the Spiny Lobster and the Sweet Shrimp. But those freaking crabs are definitely hard to get. There are quite a few of them, so those take a while. It's no wonder I got that freaking diving badge. That's probably how you're gonna get it. It's not because you're gonna have to go and like dive some extra. It's probably just if you're trying to get all the stuff together that you need to get together, it's probably gonna happen just like that because you're gonna have to try over and over and over and over and over. And anyway, let's move on to Sunday. I had a little fortune. Let's see if we can figure out what they're gonna give me. Garlic is not a substitute for personal hygiene. So, any guesses on what they're gonna give me? If you thought anything that has to do with vario, you would be right. It's the Bad Bro Stash. There you go. And that was really easy to figure out, I have to admit. Unless you don't know anything about vario. And this is what it looks like. Very, well, I don't know what to say about this. Actually. So, yeah. I didn't keep it though. I didn't want it. And I don't think Slim wanted it either, so there you go. I did have one thing to add to my catches of the day, quote unquote. It's the Great Statue, which obviously I got the day before, but they always, you know, send it to you the next day. So that's the date of when you can give it, like the earliest. So that's when I usually show it. It's this statue, as you see. And this was something really funny because if you read the description, it tells you that this is, hold your horses here, King Kamehameha. Yep, you get it? Okay. I hope you're laughing as hard as I did when I read that. I'm like, oh my god, really? There was this guy called King Kamehameha? That was super awesome, and I think I even tweeted this picture. I don't know what to say. I don't know what else to say. It was just awesome. It was super awesome. So much for that. That was pretty much the whole week. And keep in mind now that from now on, I'm gonna be making those diaries probably once a month because there's really not extremely much happening anymore. For the most part, I'm gonna be just catching the new stuff every month, and I'm gonna be showing off any events, you know, like holidays or whatever the hell, or anything in that direction that still happens. So that means there's not gonna be any weekly stuff anymore because it's just too little material, because I don't even have screenshots for every day anymore. So if you don't see one of those videos in your inbox next Sunday, don't panic or anything. And also don't panic in general, because I'm gonna finish this diary, which means I'm gonna make sure I show you everything, like catching everything, all the holidays and everything in general. And whenever I get that freaking cable, I can also give you a tour of my town, which by then it's hopefully gonna be finished, as in, you know, all the flowers are in place, all the projects are in place, everything else is done and whatnot. So I'm actually pretty excited and looking forward to that. Other than that, again, as always, this series is associated and affiliated with the shop on my website, which has a lot of cool stuff that you should go look at. There are also a few reviews from people who have ordered things, so if you're not so sure or haven't been so sure until now, you might want to look at that, because people have been very happy so far. And, well, as always, thanks for watching, thanks for joining, and I'll see you next time. Bye, y'all!